Hypothetical situation for you. What if there was a company in America on American soil who had agents that forced you to buy bubblegum or toothpaste or deodorant or medical supplies like Band-Aids and alcohol or condoms, made you pay for all these things for other people in America? Now, what if there was a government who made you pay for all these things for people in foreign lands? There's a lot of people that object to what Donald Trump said about $50 million of American taxpayer money through U.S. aid going to buy condoms in Gaza. And they're like, there's no proof that $50 million was used to buy condoms in Gaza. We don't have any proof of that. Let me just give you the claim, and then we're going to kind of disassemble this, because it's far worse than is even stated by Donald Trump, who's not being completely accurate about where this money went or the amount of money.
We are merely looking at parts of the big bureaucracy where there has been tremendous waste and fraud and abuse. In that process, we identified and stopped $50 million being sent to Gaza to buy condoms for Hamas. 50 million. And you know what's happened to them? They've used them as a method of making bombs. How about that?
Didn't just go for condoms in Gaza and went for condoms for Hamas, says Donald Trump. Here's the other claim by the press secretary.
DOGE and OMB have actually found that there was $37 million that was about to go out the door to the World Health Organization, which is an organization, as you all know, that President Trump, with the swipe of his pen in that executive order, is no longer wants the United States to be a part of. So that wouldn't be in line with the president's agenda. DOGE and OMB also found that there was about to be 50 million taxpayer dollars that went out the door to fund condoms in Gaza. That is a preposterous waste of taxpayer money. So that's what this pause is focused on.
Now, it's good to have an organization, because you know governments are corrupt and they skirt away from transparency and they don't want the spotlight to be shown on them. So it would be good to have an external department checking into the expenditures of the federal government, because we know if there's not waste involved, then it's not the federal government. If there's the federal government, there's going to be waste. I mean, massive, incomprehensible amounts of waste. But why exaggerate the truth? No, it's not true. And truth matters. Facts matter. This is being reported right here by the National News Desk. Says the White House on Tuesday announced the Department of Government Efficiency has discovered and halted an outgoing payment for $50 million for condoms in Gaza. There's a whole bunch of tweets going on about it. And I want to just read to you that from the website, the whitehouse.gov website, they had formerly listed that $50 million for condoms, but it is no longer there. It's actually worse. Let me just show you this right here from factcheck.org, and we're going to go over some other facts too. Trump administration makes unsupported claim about $50 million for condoms. Here's the quick take right here. President Donald Trump said his administration blocked $50 million for condoms to be sent to Gaza through its pause on foreign aid, but it has provided no evidence that $50 million was ever directed toward condoms in Gaza. The contractor identified by the State Department said that it has not used U.S. aid to procure or distribute condoms. So they do the full story. They show where Levitt said this. They show where Trump said this. And then it talks about where this money, what the actual amount was and where the money really went. It's more money, and it's still funding foreign nations and furnishing condoms for various reasons. And let me just show you, because another sad fact of the United States is, as of January 2024, more than 770 million people were experiencing homelessness on American soil. Now, it's not right for the government to take from some and to give to others. But if you're going to take from those some, then the others you should be given to is to your own people, not to people in foreign nations, especially when we have a $36 trillion debt load right now, not counting unfunded liabilities. Because if you count those in, you're closer to 220 trillion. So we can't even afford to take care of ourselves. How are we sending massive funds throughout the world? So let me get back to this factcheck.org, because this will freaking blow your mind. Pressed for the source of her information by the Washington Post fact checker, Levitt cited a Fox News story which stated that an unnamed White House official, we got them sources, said the State Department had halted several millions of dollars going to condoms in Gaza this past weekend, but it's not 50 million. The White House official directed reporters to an ex post by the State Department spokesperson Tammy Bruce, who wrote on January 28th, quote, American taxpayers spent overseas should be spent wisely. And for the benefit of Americans, the pause in foreign assistance has allowed the State Department to prevent unjustified and non-emergency spending. First example she offered, condoms prevented $120 million in unjustified spending to contractor in Gaza, including money for contraception. That's going to be the final nail in this coffin right here. Bruce did not name the contractor in her post, but the Washington Post reported that Bruce's office said that she was referring to the $102,236,000 to fund the International Medical Corps in Gaza. Now, this sounds like a good thing, but we can't afford it. This sounds like a good thing, but Americans are suffering on American soil. They should be taken care of first. This sounds like a good thing, but we got a whole lot of vets that aren't being taken care of by our system. How can we send $102 additional million to foreign countries to help them? And like I said, it sounds like a good thing. It says the organization has received more than $68 million from U.S. Agency for International Development, that's USAID, to support, or USAID, to support IMC's medical operations in Gaza since the start of the Israeli-Hamas war on October 7th, 2023. The statement said that funding has supported the operation of 2 field hospitals that treated about 33,000 patients each month. That's crazy. And yes, there are hurting people throughout the world, but doesn't this sound like the Hegelian dialectic, problem, reaction, solution? We will create the problem. In other words, we will fund Israel so that they can drop bombs on Gaza. Israel is reported to have created Hamas, so they created another problem for themselves. Now we got to come up with a solution. Wow, we got all these hurting people out there. I know. Let's take the taxpayer money that we just used to send bombs to Israel and send aid to Gaza so we can help 33,000 patients each month as they set up these hospital tents while they're getting bombed by the bombs that we're funding, so that now we can fund more tents and more medical aid. It's insanity. Why should we pay for a problem that you just created? That's the problem, reaction, solution. Since January 2024, the statement said the organization has provided health care to more than 383,000 civilians who had no other access to service or treatment, including performing about 11,000 surgeries, with 1/3 of those categorized as major modern procedures. We have assisted in the delivery of some 5,000 babies, about 20% of them via cesarean section. In addition to International Medical Corps, it has screened 111,000 people for malnutrition. Yeah, these are all good things, but again, we can't afford it. Now, here's the coup de grace right here. Support for global contraceptive aid. That's right. Your American tax cattle dollars are going for contraception and condoms in foreign nations to the tune of not $50 million, but $60.8 million. Washington Post noted that the U.S. program, the U.S. President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief, or PEPFAR, which distributes condoms in other countries to help prevent the spread of HIV infection. But PEPFAR does not work with any nations it's not the 8 nations in the Middle East. They're literally trying to get you to focus on the molehill while Everest looms in the background. Contraceptives and condoms are also delivered around the world through the support of USAID. The most recent report issued by the agency in April 2024, and here's the report right here. said the total value of contraceptives and condoms provided internationally in the previous fiscal year amounted to $60.8 million. So it's worse. And yes, I agree. Facts matter. Stop saying it's $50 million for contraception going to Gaza, specifically to Hamas, like Trump said. Come on. Be factual about the information. The fact is, it's worse. We're providing condoms throughout the world to the tune of almost $61 million in a single year. That's bad enough. Stop messing with the facts. Be factual about your information, because, guys, I'm telling you, there is far more that's going on here than meets the eye. There's far more waste than DOGE will ever reveal. And do you really trust this guy? Do you trust the government? Do you trust the United States government to do the right thing? Do you trust all this empire building, the military industrial complex expenditure, and here domestically, the prison industrial complex expenditure? We cannot spend one more dollar because we don't have it. We are in debt up to our eyeballs. The national debt clock keeps on ticking, and the rulers just keep on spending. $36.4 trillion in U.S. national debt before unfunded liabilities. And if you count unfunded liabilities like Medicare and Social Security, you're talking about a number that's so astronomical, $226 trillion in unfunded liability debt. This is the number we're talking about. And just to remind you how massive a sum $1 trillion is, if you were to earn $1 for every second that you were alive, that'd be $86,400 per day, or about $31.5 million a year. How long would you have to live to collect your first $1 trillion at $1 for every second? You would have to live 31,709 years. That's how wild and insane this entire thing is. Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the global thought police in the comment section below. If you like this content, if you get something out of this content, please like this video, share it with everybody you know, subscribe, hit the bell notification. If you want to support me further, the Cash App, PayPal, well, I don't have PayPal, I got kicked off, but Patreon, those links are in the description below. I really appreciate the support. It takes a long time to do these things every day. Hopefully I'm giving you information that's valuable, that you can use, that you can share with others, so that we can expose this disturbing illusion. I will see you in the next video.